Hello everyone, this is Diane. I have my Stampin' Up order. I remember I hosted a Stampin' Up workshop a couple of weeks ago, and I got my order. I didn't have a lot of people at my party. I had, I think, 4 guests plus myself, and I earned enough. I sold enough to get $40 worth free. So I don't remember which items I chose for free, but $40 worth of this was my reward for having a party. So I'm just going to show you what I got. And we're going to play around with some of them. I have already done some play, you can probably tell. As you know, I will be working on a strawberry journal, or some strawberry journals, very soon. Just trying to get these things out of my way. And I spilled them. And last year I had purchased this, when I did my strawberry journals last year, I had purchased this stamp set. And it comes, well, it doesn't come with, but there is available this punch. Strawberry Builder is the name of the punch. But I had my party at the end of April, like April 26th, I think, or 27th. And this book ended April 30th, and then the new book started in May. So the strawberry items are not available. I know the punches, I don't think the stamps are. And some of these other items may not be available. I did not check my new book before I started the video, and I probably should have. But anyway, I will link something for Stampin' Up for you down below. So anyway, this punch was not available. It was all sold out last year when I bought this, so I stamped and cut out all of my pieces. Now this is the piece that's hard to cut out, and this piece is not in the punch. I don't know why they didn't do a set of dies. They do dies for everything else. But I can punch the strawberry, the leaves, the stem portion, and the flower. Now the problem is I can't stamp these first and then punch them, because I'd have to line them up perfectly with that. So I did experiment with stamping, or with punching and then stamping. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. But I want to show you what else I got before I get into that. So some of these pieces I had cut out and stamped and colored and cut out last year. And some of these I just tried to do, and this isn't lined up very well, so that's going to take some practice. This one is better. It's got a mark through it. That mark was on the paper, but I was just playing, and of course that's the one that turned out good. So we'll do a little play with this in a bit. Another thing I got was this jar of gilded leafing. So it's flakes of gilded leafing, and it's in this jar, and there's a lot in here. And I watched a couple videos to see how you're supposed to use it, and they say when you open the jar, and first of all be careful, because just any little draft of breath or a fan, don't turn a fan on when you have these open, but so be careful with that. But when you open it, it expands, and you don't want to use it out of the jar, because it would just make a mess. So I put them in this container, and I still have that much left because it poofed up. So we're gonna play with that too. I've got some supplies out to play around with that. A couple different techniques I'm hoping I have time for. I got this paper punch, which is a daisy. This one is discontinued. I think there's a smaller one. Sorry for the glare. But I punched out just some cardstock scraps that I had, and you can layer them. You can put more on if you want. And put a brad through them or something. Glue them down and put a gem on them. You can curl the edges if you wanted to. So So I think 4 is too many. I like it with actually with just 2, but I think 3 would be nice. And you can do that with any color, maybe even with some patterned paper. I just thought that would be a nice accent. So I'll make some of these up, or at least punch some, and have them available for when I'm creating journals. I'm not going to do any more with this today in this video. I just wanted to show you the flowers. Another item that we're not going to play with today is this pack of 6x6 gold and rose gold metallic specialty paper. So it's not as shiny as the gold pieces that I have already, and it's just got a different, it feels textured. I mean, it looks textured, but it feels smooth. And there are, I think, 3 of each. Doesn't say how many, but I think, oh, maybe 4 of each. Yep, 4 of each color. I got basic gray stamp pad. I need to replace stamp pads because I went through my old Stampin' Up stamp pads and tried them out, and I got rid of the old ones that weren't working very well. And I thought that's what oops, I'm sorry, just taking my jacket off. I thought that's what I would do with my party. Was I got little scraps of paper in here. I would replace some of those stamp pads with some similar colors, but I got one stamp pad and it's not even a replacement. I just thought that it might be nice to have a gray. It's a dark gray instead of black. I'm looking for a stamp. I didn't think ahead and get a stamp out. But I have some handy. I just thought it would be nice for something not quite as dark as black, but still dark. So I like that, especially the second one, but if I wanted it darker, of course, I would use the first. I don't believe Stampin' Up! Carries their basic blacks, gray, or basic black ink anymore, so I can't compare it with that. But I do have the Ranger Jet Black Archival. I want to see how this compares. Just gonna stamp that off. Yeah, so it's a slight difference. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but I'm happy with that stamp pad. And I got some dies and another set of stamps. Now this die and stamp set go together. I've admired these for a long time, and I don't remember if they're discontinued now. But this is the stamp set. It's called Forever Fern, and it has 6 of these plants, and then some phrases, and then this little speckle pattern stamp. And I left one not put together yet, so I can show you how. When you get a Stampin' Up! Set, they come in this rubber. They're already cut out. All you have to do is poke them out. And they come with the stickers. And I just want to show you what you have to do to put them together. It's very, very easy. So take the stamp out of the rubber. Got a little gold leaf on the edge of that. I guess when you start using that gold leaf, you might find little bits of it everywhere. Do not take the sticker out of this. Leave the sticker there. Peel the backing off of the stamp, and there is a split in the middle of the backing on the sticker, so just peel that off without taking the sticker out. Sometimes the sticker comes out, can't help it. But so now I have the sticker, the sticky side is exposed, the back of my stamp is exposed, and then you just lay the stamp down onto the sticker. Press it down, pull it up, and now it's applied. This is quite sticky so that it will stick to the blocks. And then there are dies that go with it. So there are the 6 dies for the 6 stamps. There are no dies for the words or the splatters. And I did not cut any of these because I hadn't put the stamp yet together, or stamp together yet. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But there are extra ones, and these are more detailed, and there are no stamps to go with them. So these were made to just cut out. And I did some of those too. So maybe you don't want to buy the stamps, but you wanted these, so you could just cut these out and you don't need the stamps. We are going to cut a little bit, but I have some other things to show you before we do that. So these are what they look like, the ones that don't have the stamps. I cut them. I just used scraps of some different shades of green that I had. And they give you 4 of these little ones, which is awesome, so that you can just fit them in the little spaces in between your other stamps. And so you can cut 4 at a time instead of having, if you wanted a bunch of these, you don't have to run your cutting mat through the Cricut 4 times, or through the Big Shot 4 times to get 4 of these little things. Just one time. I think that's really awesome that they did that. Also, this one is the same thing twice, but it faces opposite direction. The thing is, the dies are facing the right way. I mean, opposite directions like they're supposed to. But the stickers were both facing the same way. So if they were going to mess it up, I'd rather they mess it up that way, because the stickers aren't going to affect the outcome. So I just put this one together. So I want to, let me finish showing you what dies I got. I also got this set of dies. This is called, I covered up the name of it, Sweetly Stitched, I think. Oh, Encircled in Beauty. The other one is Sweetly Stitched. This is Encircled in Beauty because they are beautiful circles. And they come taped down to a cardboard, and they are all layered together. They nest within each other. Well, maybe not all of them. Oh, I know, there were 2 cards. There were 2 cards, so they were nested together when they come like that, something like that. But so there are 6, and I really love that one of them, this one I believe, does not cut the border around it. So you can cut a piece to be a pocket, and then cut this with it, and then you could put some acetate behind it and have that beautiful card be a pocket, or a specimen card type of thing. Wouldn't that be pretty? And the rest of them, cut them out. So you have some with the solid center. I guess these all have a solid center, but this does not have a lacy border around it. So that's something just solid and nice you can use. And then that has more solid, and these are more lacy around the edges. These 2 are the same. I just have to finish poking the holes, or poking the little pieces out. So those are fun. Encircled in Beauty. And then lastly, I got Stitched So Sweetly dies. And they came all nested together in 2 sets. They're all on 1 card, but they nest together like that. If you wanted to put them on a magnet, I don't do that, but they fit together like that. And then this shape, which is awesome. I just loved that you had these nice little scalloped squares or rectangles and these little shapes all in 1 die set. And they're called Stitch So Sweetly because it makes a stitching line around them. I found that I had to, in addition to my cutting plate and my 2 I guess that's my platform and my 2 cutting plates. I used my very thin cardstock shims to help get the stitching lines, and on these to help cut out all those intricate pieces. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with all of these dies. And I don't know if we will cut any more of these out. I don't think we really need to. But I do want to cut some of the plant things out. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So I'm just using scraps of paper, cardstock, to do all these. Everything I showed you was done with scraps. So I'm going to cut out some of these plants. And this is the one I haven't done yet. So, you know, I might want several of those, but I'm not going to stamp several on this piece of paper because I only have 1 die. But I could have several scraps here, and I think I'll stamp them, but I won't cut them all out on this video. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. So since I have this on the block, I'm just going to stamp several. And then I'll take it off and I will stamp this one. I love this one too. Aren't they nice? They just have such nice detail. Got green ink on me from peeling these off. I should wash them first, but I love this one. All right, I like them all. I'm leaving some space around them so the dies can fit. I really should wash because I'm going to get ink all over my cardstock. So I just used a wet wipe this morning, or a little while ago, but it's dry already. This is Stampin' Up! Garden Green that I'm using. I did stamp one with a different green, but I like the darker green better. But I could do them in a variety of greens, like I did with the cardstock ones. Okay, now I need to do this one. Sticking to each other. And this one, I peeled the sticker back off. This is the one that was backwards. So I peeled the sticker back off and just flipped it upside down and put it on, but so some of the foam peeled off and stuck to it, but it works. It's serviceable. It does what it needs to do. And this one. Did I leave room for it? I think so. Then I'll just take one of these cards. I like to set the card onto my platform and then lay the dies on it, because if I do it down here and then pick it up and move it. I do have a magnetic platform, but I'm just going to use this one. If I pick it up and move it, they shift. So I'm just doing it right here. I just have the platform pulled out so that I can access the entire surface. And you have to make sure that your paper isn't longer or wider. Well, it won't fit through if it's wider, but not longer than the platform. I have found that sometimes if they're too close to the edge, that there isn't as much pressure there and they might not cut completely. But we're going to try it. I could have put these two pieces closer together, but it's okay. And then after we do this, we get to play with the strawberry punch and the gilding leaf. So I have to try to kind of get it underneath there without shifting my dies, and just set it down and then put these on it. That just provides just enough extra pressure. If you want to go one way and then come back out, so run it through twice, I don't run it all the way back far enough for it to pop, because that will shift the pieces. If you want to run it all the way through, just run it through and take it out, because it pops off of these and gives a little jump, and then these pieces might shift, and then you run them back through and it cuts them slightly off again from where they were. Very nice. I will enjoy, see this right here, probably because I didn't run it straight all the way through. I'll just have to take some scissors and cut the rest of that. It's partially cut, but not all the way through. So I think we're done with the big shot for this video. And after the video, I'll cut these out. Won't take long, and then I'll have a nice little stash. And maybe I'll do some more of these before I put it away. So I have a beautiful stash of greenery that I can use in some projects. Just looking for my folder, or my envelope that they go in. Here it is. I might put them in a smaller envelope because these were spread out and stuck onto their cardboard, but the drawer that I put them in, this won't stand up in. So I'll have to change that. All right, before we run out of time, let's do the strawberries. I think I can do them more quickly, hopefully, than the gilding stuff. So what I'm going to try is punching some of these in white. And these are two-step stamping. So you stamp the background. That was very off-centered, so I didn't complete it. You stamp the background and then you stamp the detail on top. So we're going to try to do that. Here's the background, and I have real red here. And then you have to try to center it. So I can see that there is more of a border on this side than here, and that's why this was so off-centered. So I have to watch for the actual stamp lines and not that border. Nope, not good. So there's something else I want to try. If I have too much trouble getting this centered. Because, you know, the strawberry would just, that one's good. The strawberry would be so easy to cut out. So I might not even bother with stamping on the punch for these. But the leaves and the flower might be helpful. And now I want my black. And this one might be easier to line up because I have the red strawberry to line it up with. That looks good. Okay, so we have one successful piece. And now the leaf. I do want to do a separate video doing some techniques with, I use the garden green for the leaves. Whoops. I do want to do a separate video showing techniques for the gold leafing. So if I don't have time to show you that I'm going to do some in another video anyway. I just want to do a little bit today if I can. Now that's pretty good. I could trim some of that white off. But I mean, what's the point of punching it if you have to trim it anyway? So I guess it's just going to take practice to get things lined up properly. That looks good, except for that extra white border at the top. Now let's try the stem. And I don't think... There's another stem. I don't think this has a separate portion. Oh, because that's not filled in. It's just the outline. So that would go here. Here's a leaf. And the flower has 2 steps. So I want to do the first step in black because it's a white flower with a yellow center. Right? Where's some of my flowers? I guess I don't have a flower left over from last year. Wait, here's one. Might just be one that I just punched today. Yep, it is. Okay, so this looks like it's a solid. And this... I'm going to stamp it in yellow and just see what happens. I think I might need a new yellow. This one is Pineapple Punch. See if it's dark enough. It's a little off center. Yeah, that just gives you yellow for the whole thing. Whoops. Don't want that. Don't want green. So I think what I would do with this is just stamp it once in black and then just put a little yellow marker in the center. I think that would give me a more realistic flower like that. But what do you think? Can just scatter these things around. So there's that. I'm not sure if the punch is worth it. The other thing I thought of trying was stamping my images like separately and then just lining up this punch with what I stamped The thing is, I'd have to have a lot of room for the strawberry because everything else would punch out when I do the strawberry. But, because I don't really need to do the strawberry though. I can just cut that out. I'll make it work. We will figure it out. I just wish that they had done dies instead of a punch. Alright, now let's look at this gilding stuff. If I have time, I want to show you two techniques that I saw on videos. They were both from Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. Just have to try to remember them. So this is one I did with a stamp, and it didn't quite cover all of it. So this is one of my leaf stamps because that's what I had out. I want to do this one first. I haven't tried this one on my own. I'm sorry for my inky fingers. So I just have some tape, score tape, and I'm just going to add. It's easy on this grid paper. It's a grid Project Life card, or Project Life type of card, and it's easy to line it up. I'm just going to add a little gilding to my Project Life card. And I will cut off the excess. Peel off the release paper, and now I just have a sticky strip there. Now, one lady that I saw, just whatever was sticky that she wanted to gild, she just stuck it in there and pulled it out, and all the stuff was stuck to it. Another lady was trying to keep it not messy, so she took out an individual piece and laid it down like that. Well, that would drive me nuts, especially if I had more than this little strip to do. Because it would just take so long. I don't mind the mess, I'll clean it up. Another thing that she did, trying to not be messy, was just to take a pinch of it and just kind of rub it on your sticky stuff. And then kind of burnish it with your finger. And then I had a brush, here it is. Take a brush. Oh, this isn't stiff enough. I need a stiffer brush. And brush away any excess. Then you have a nice gilded strip. I said it would be easy to make it straight on a grid paper, but it's a little crooked. And then you can just put your stuff back in your box. It wants to stick to my mat. So that's one way with the sticky tape. So what if you want something that's not a straight line? How can you make it stick? So I'm going to get a stamp. Let's try this stamp because it's gorgeous. And I hope it works. So I'm going to use my Versamark, which is an embossing ink. So any embossing ink, stamp it on your surface. I'm going to put the lid on this because I am going to use my heat gun and I don't want to blow that around. And then this is heat and stick powder. I have had this for many years and I got it to use sorry, with I'll break up some of those chunks. It's old. But I did try it and it works. I did it with that. I got it to use with, I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of the metallic colors in a powder, and this makes them stick. I'll have to play around with that too in a video, because I still have those also. So anyway, I'm going to put this on here. So just like embossing powder, but this is a heat and stick powder. And when you heat this up, you heat it very, very briefly. It doesn't take as long as embossing powder, and you don't want to dry it out. You want it to be sticky. So, can you see it? So I'll take my heat gun, let it warm up a little bit, and then heat it briefly. Just enough to melt it. I think it's all melted. And now I'm going to try the dipping it in method that the first lady I saw did. Just press it down in there and bring it up. See, and it is a mess because all that stuff clings to it. I want to make sure that it is sticking to all the sticky stuff that I want it to stick to before I start brushing some off. And I'll burnish it, and as I burnish it, some of it comes off. I can use a soft brush to brush off the extra that's on the card. But there's extra stuff here that needs to come off. I think, maybe there's a more solid section. Yeah, it needed to come off. So that makes a pretty little vintage looking rosette. I don't know why that is sticking there. Okay, that looks better. So that was just a quick showing, because I haven't really played around with it much. Just this morning I did a little bit. And all your little scraps put back in there because you can use them. And when this runs low, I can dump some more out of here. So this is going to last a long time, I think. Alright, so we had a lot to talk about and see today. I hope that you saw some things that interested you. This is a product that's still available in the Stampin' Up! Book. And I don't know if I can link my demonstrator so that you could order from her. I'll check with her. I know she wouldn't mind the orders. I might be able to do it that way. Or you can just go to stampinup.com and order from their website. But if you wanted to order enough, I think it's $150. Or if you had people go in with you, you could get some free product. I think it's $150 to qualify as a show, in which case the hostess of the show would earn some free product. So I will see if I can link Kim, my demonstrator, who I've known her my whole life. And yeah, you can look for some of these products there. I know some of them aren't available anymore, like the strawberries. I'm not sure about the others. I hope that you had fun playing along with me today and seeing what was new in my studio. And I will be back again very soon with another video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.